Good morning, everyone. Welcome to LisaBug Yoga. And today we're doing a little bit of yoga flow, which it'll be a little bit more focused on movement of the body through the poses rather than holding for a long duration of time. We'll start with a little bit of Tai Chi inspired movement for warm up, and then a lot of focus on the core today, specifically in poses where we side bend, lateral flexion of the spine. So we can lengthen out the spine and also tone those muscles of the core in the side waist and the QL in the lower back region. So as always with LisaBug classes, I want to make sure you are taking modifications that you might need if you have issues with your knees, your hips, your shoulders, your wrists, low back, whatever it might be. Listen to your body today as you move through the practice. And we'll start standing with the feet in wide Wu Chi, so a little bit wider than hips distance apart. And sink down into those knees. Let's just close our eyes for a few moments, if that feels okay for you. Doesn't make you feel a little tippy or losing your balance. And then imagine there is a teacup balanced on the top of your head. And you won't be rising and falling with your body, but I just want you to start to bend one knee and straighten the other leg and shift your body weight from side to side. And my toes are turned out. The knees follow the direction the toes are pointing, not bowing in or out. And you're just gliding along a horizontal line. And begin to focus your awareness on your breathing and of your posture and the alignment of your spine. Slightly connect those shoulder blades back and press the shoulders down. And then when you're ready, just blink those eyes open. We're going to take the same action and wrap the arms around one side and wrap to the other. And once you start moving, get the pace to speed up just a little bit. So when you twist from side to side, the arms just gently slap the sides of the body, front and back. And you're looking to each side you're turning, or you can keep your gaze straight ahead and just let the rest of your spine turn. Now we'll do 2 quick wraps, right and left, and then a slow reach out with that right palm lifted. 2 wraps left and right, and then reach out, long palm lifted. So we go wrap, wrap, and lengthen. And wrap, wrap, and lengthen. At your own pace, really warming up through the spine and through the shoulders. Then, of course, the knees and the hips and ankles. 1 more each side. Wrap, wrap, and lengthen. And last one, wrap, wrap, and lengthen. Then sweep the right arm, circle up and over. Sweep the left arm up and over. And you're slightly side bending your waist away from the direction that you've moved from. So if you're moving to the right, you're side bending open and side bending open. I want you to feel the lats really releasing. And abdominals gently engaged. With the breath, nice big inhales and complete exhales. 1 more each side. And then we'll scoop down, bending the knees, press the palms together, extend them up skyward, bend the right knee, open your arms out and gaze towards the left fingertips. Then scoop down, palms connect, extend up, switching sides, the left knee bends, we gaze to the right fingertips. And we inhale, gathering energy, Exhale, releasing stress and tension. And breathing. 2 more each side. We move and then we pause and gaze. Deepening that knee bend, warming up through the thighs. 1 more each side. Reach up, 5-pointed star, spread the fingers, then bend both knees and draw your shoulder blades back into moonflowers. Inhale. Exhale, contract the shoulder blades. And inhale, press the knees apart in alignment with the feet. 2 more. And 1 more. And hold. Take these palms and press forward. Draw the arms back, palms up, squeeze the shoulder blades. And press. Inhale, open. Exhale, tighten the core. 2 more. And 1 more. Sweep the arms up, sunflowers. The wrists cross above the head and they cross towards the floor, hinging from the hips. Inhale, exhale. And maybe exhale through your mouth a couple of times, a little bit more forcefully as you come down. 3 more breaths. Energizing the body with the breath. 2 and 1. Reach up, hold, interlace your fingers above the head except for the thumb and the pointer fingers. Side stretch over to the right. And if you can, snuggle those biceps right up next to the ears. Legs are straight but slightly softened through the knees. And then rotate that top shoulder back. Look underneath the armpit. Brace through your abs and breathe. And then as you come up, releasing the hands, exhale down. Reach back up. Interlace the hands, stretch up. And extend and side bend over to that left side. Slightly roll that right shoulder back. Look under the arm, reach. Feel the work in the abdominals, the obliques, and the spinal extensors. And we'll inhale back up, release the hands, exhale all the way down, and just inhale back to 5-pointed star. Arms float to the side of your body, and then step to the top of your mat as we move into Sun Salutation A. And we'll take this very slowly to begin as I'll provide you options for our flow this morning. We'll take an inhale, circle sweep the arms out and up, maybe a baby back bend here. Exhale, swan dive into forward bend. And we'll hold our first forward bend about 3 breaths. Softening the knees, let the head relax and dangle down. 2 more breaths. And on that third exhalation, we'll inhale, halfway lift, your fingertips float up the shins, and try to find a neutral spine. So check your head position. Make sure you're not looking forward, pinching the back of your neck, but your head's not falling and dropping either. You're right in the midline. 1 more breath here. Then as you exhale, float back down to forward bend, and then step your right foot back into lunge. Your left foot follows as we come into downward facing dog. We'll hold our down dog for a few breaths on this first pass through and pedal out the feet. As you bend one knee, press the other heel gently down into the mat and stretch out your calves and the bottoms of your feet. For this pose, if you need to come to your elbows for sensitive wrists, feel free to come into Dolphin Pose. Now press both heels evenly into the floor in your down dog. And on an inhale, glide forward to plank. We can also drop the knees here as we hold our plank for 3 breaths. Pressing your shoulders away from your ears, pulling the navel up to kiss the spine. And on your third exhalation from the knees or toes, lower all the way down to the belly with your elbows close to the sides of your body, Chaturanga Vendasana. Once the belly finds the floor, lift up into a baby cobra by coming into a gentle spinal extension. Keep the back of the neck long and activate the legs. We hold this 3 breaths. Very gentle back bend. On your third exhalation, press yourself back up, knees or toes. Lift those hips coming into your downward facing dog. That finishes our half series vinyasa flow. And then we'll bend our knees and crouch, stepping the right foot forward between the hands into your lunge. The left foot follows, forward bend. And we rise halfway up. Lengthen the spine. And we fold back down one last time. Reverse our swan dive, come all the way up, extending through the fingertips. Maybe that baby back bend. And let the arms float next to the sides of the body into mountain pose. So as we move through the next round, options for layers to increase the difficulty of our poses. We'll breathe in, maybe a baby back bend. And breathe out, swan dive into forward bend. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, fold. Step your left foot back this time into lunge. And then your right foot moving into downward facing dog. Drop those heels evenly to the mat and press away from your hands, lengthening the spine as well as lifting the sitting bones. Then on your inhale, glide forward into plank pose. Maybe try keeping the knees off the floor this time, tightening through the thighs. One more breath. Then either gliding all the way down again, Chaturanga, belly meets the floor, or we can bend the elbows halfway into our Chaturanga. Turn the tops of your feet to the mat and press up into upward facing dog. So either baby cobra or up dog. 2 more breaths. And as we exhale, lift the hips back up, tucking the toes back into our down dog. Press both heels evenly into the mat. Then bend the knees deeply, step the left foot through the hands into our low lunge. The right foot follows, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift, hands float up the shins. Exhale and fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come all the way up. Extend the spine and reach. Exhale, arms come next to the side body. We'll breathe in and breathe out, forward bend. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold, and either step or maybe jump your feet back and lift the hips, come into down dog. We'll inhale forward to high plank. Our half series vinyasa from the knees or toes, either lower down into baby cobra or into your upward facing dog. Then pressing back into down dog, or maybe taking child's pose if you need a breather for your wrists here. From our down dog, we'll bend those knees deeply and either step or jump your feet back up to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle sweep all the way up. Extend the spine. Returning to mountain, we have one more round of Sun Salutation A, Surya Namaskar. Inhale, reach. Exhale and fold. Take any options, modifications that you need. Halfway lift, rise up, long spine. Exhale, fold, and step or jump back. Moving into down dog. Gliding into high plank, knees or toes. Lowering down, Chaturanga with cobra or upward facing dog to lengthen the spine. Then returning to down dog our last time, hold and breathe. And gazing toward the top of the mat, step, walk, or jump your feet back toward your hands, forward bend. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Circle sweep, the arms rising back up. Our final spinal extension, upward salute, Urdhva Hastasana. And let the arms float next to the sides of the body. Arms sweep forward, the hips sit back into chair. As you rise up, sweep the arms behind you and open up your heart. Exhale into chair. 2 more breaths. Inhale, open. Exhale and sit. 1 more. And hold that chair pose. Palms come to the heart center. And then we'll step 1 foot back so that you can turn and face forward on the long end of your mat. Open the arms out nice and long. And then we'll turn the right foot out, sinking into Warrior 2. Shoulder blades are down and back. We'll take a nice side angle pose. Stretch and reach. Using the core, pull yourself all the way back up into Reverse Warrior. Gazing the fingertips upward. The lower body stays nice and still as we move back and forth between these 2 poses, working on side bending of the waist, lengthening and stretching, really enjoying that wonderful range of motion while we're focusing on strengthening the legs here in Warrior 2. 2 more, reach. And pull up, gaze lifts. 1 more time. Then return to Warrior 2, nice and strong. Drop your shoulders down away from the ears. And as we straighten out the right leg, both arms will lift up and then open the arms back out as we bend that knee. So this is similar to one of the movements we did in our warm-up, and I want you to take your gaze away from your front leg. So you're looking toward the back leg. Then we look forward, inhale, exhale. 2 more with the breath. And last one. Then take your gaze straight ahead, Straighten out that front knee as we prepare for triangle pose. So reach the arms out long and just see where your hand falls down on your shin here. And open up through the side waist on that left side of your body. You can also use your yoga block or maybe even a chair to place your hand upon. Or if you really want to work your core, we can unweight the hand and reach it out. Top arm can stay lifted, or we can snuggle that arm right up next to the ear. And then engage the core. Engage the inner thighs. One more breath. And then we'll rebend that front knee, rising back up to our warrior two. Now just bring your hands down to your hips, and we are going to hinge forward from the waist and reach down to the mat or to your block. Go ahead and grab mine and have it free. So we're still in a warrior two stance. Right knee is bent, left leg is extended straight, but we're folding forward into a forward bend. A nice stretch for the inner thigh on that left leg, the hip, the glute on the right. And we'll take 3 breaths here. One more breath in. And then walk your hands back to your hips, very carefully rising up, using the strength of the back side of your body. And then we'll straighten out the right leg, pivot on the heel to turn the foot forward, and then pivot on the left heel to turn the foot out as we come back into warrior two now on the left side in the front. And make sure this knee isn't falling inward, so really use the muscle of your hip to pull that knee into nice alignment. And then we'll side bend, side angle pose, stretch, and pull yourself up into reverse warrior, also known as sun warrior. So we're gazing up to the sun as we lift the arm and extend the side of the waist. And just breathe wherever it feels right for you today as you flow back and forth at your own pace between these two poses. And there's really no movement in the lower body from the top of the hips down into the floor. Everything is really still and rooted into the earth, very grounded. Let's take one more of each. And then find your warrior two. And make sure that the shoulder blades aren't hunching up. So give them a press down. As we straighten out this left leg, reach up through the fingertips and then bend the knee back down. Then we'll take our gaze toward the back foot. So we'll inhale, reach. Exhale, look behind us. Inhale. Exhale, bend that front knee. 3 more with the breath. And 2. Stoking the heat of the body, our metabolism. 1 more. And then just bring your gaze back to the front. Straighten out the left leg as we prepare for triangle. So reach out nice and long and then just see where this hand lands. So our goal isn't to bend fully forward, because if we do that, it might look like this, and then we come out of our side bend. So just place the hand gently here. Avoid your knee itself or use your block. And then maybe challenge by lifting that supporting hand away and the top hand floating over. If you feel any discomfort in your lower back or in your spine, make sure you come back to supporting this pose. So Hold. One more deep breath in. Then rising back up, rebend the front knee. And lower the hands to the hips as we prepare to fold forward. So this knee stays open. We hinge down from the hips. The hands come with us, maybe to our block, a chair, or down to the floor. Explore your range of motion on this side, sinking deep into that stretch. And just notice what you're feeling in your body. Maybe your right inner thigh, your left glute, top of the left hamstring, and perhaps your lower back's getting a little bit of a stretch. And we'll take one more breath here. Inhale. Exhale completely. Bring those hands back up to your hips and use strong legs and strong back body to rise back up. And then we'll pivot that left foot to turn inward. So both feet are parallel to the outside edges of your mat. Inhale, reach up. Exhale and bring the hands to your sacrum. Maybe your fists or flattened palms press behind either side of your sacrum. And we'll lift the heart center up into a standing camel pose, pressing the hips gently forward. Open up the throat, pull the shoulder blades back. One more breath. And then exhale back into neutral position. Hands can come to the hips once more as we fold the entire body through the center into our wide leg forward fold. The fingertips come down wherever they land and relax through the back of the neck, through the lower back, the backs of the legs. If your hamstrings are tight, make sure you're supporting yourself up a little bit higher, maybe on a chair, or you're bending your knees. And sometimes this pose feels really nice to actually sit on the edge of a chair, open the legs nice and wide, and then fold the upper body forward through that space. We'll take 2 more breaths. And then we'll begin to transition to come down onto our hands and knees. So you can walk your hands over to one side of your mat, pivot on your feet, and then step that front foot back, dropping the knees down. Take a nice child's pose, dropping your forehead to the mat, either lengthening the arms out long to the top of your mat, or you can sweep them next to the sides of the body, allowing the shoulders to gently roll forward. And then if you need some padding for your knees here, go ahead and either make a little fold in your mat or take a blanket, a little bit of a beach towel, something to place your knees upon. As we come into our kneeling camel, the feet can be flat or we can tuck our toes and turn them under if this feels comfortable for your feet. And again, we'll take those fists and place them right on either side of the sacrum. So our goal here is not so much to bend the lumbar part of our back. We want to bend through the thoracic spine, that upper back. So we'll draw the shoulder blades back and lift the upper chest high to the sky, slightly engage through your glutes, and press the hips gently forward. Now, if this feels uncomfortable for you to extend your head slightly backward, pull your chin forward and just balance your head right in a neutral position. And we'll take 2 more breaths here in camel. And then as you exhale, we'll come back up. Release the hands from behind the back body. Inhale, stretch them up. Then as you exhale, drop the right arm down and turn and look toward your right ankle behind you. And maybe you can touch your heel. Then inhale that arm back up. Drop your left hand down as you turn and see if you can touch your heel. If not, that's okay. Just drift the hand in that direction and we'll start to alternate from side to side. Reach and lift. Reach and lift. We'll do one more each direction with movement before we hold. And then as we come into our hold, we can reach that right foot to the heel, or we can place our fist and gently support that region of the sacrum. Look over your shoulder or up to the ceiling. And try to press both hips evenly forward. So we're rotating through the spine and not through the hips. One more breath. Then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, turn the other direction. And maybe you can find your heel with your fingertips or make a fist and support yourself right on the left side of your sacrum. Gently squeeze the glutes, press both hips forward. And one more breath. Releasing, inhale, reach up. Exhale, back to hands and knees. And as the hands come to the floor, round your back up into cat, tucking your tailbone under. If your toes are tucked, you can gently lay them back to flatten to your mat. Keep holding your cat stretch as you're breathing. It's a wonderful counter pose for our camel stretch. And then we'll prepare to come into a kneeling side plank. So we'll bring one knee forward just a little bit and kick your ankle out to the side. Align your hand right in the middle and open out into a side plank. Now you can also stack the feet if you prefer a little bit more challenging version of your side plank. If you have a wrist issue, you can come down to your elbow, or you can simply lift up off of your hand and let it float here. And then we'll add some rotation of the spine. So as you hold that side plank, we'll reach the top arm underneath the armpit of the bottom arm and open back out. And you can just be gently floating onto your fingertips here as you twist and open. Two more. Twist and open. One more time. Rotate. Open and hold. Then pull your entire upper body up away from the floor into gate pose and side stretch the opposite direction. And we'll move back and forth between our side plank. This arm can drift right next to the ear for a nice big stretch. And then we pull up. Very similar to the action we did in Warrior 2. Reach. And coming up. And let's take one more of each movement. And then reach both hands back down to the mat, back to all fours. Curve the spine up into cat, tucking the tailbone under. And then we'll switch our kneeling plank. So the other knee slightly comes forward, the ankle moves out to the side. Placing the hand in the center, open out into your side plank. And if you'd like to take the more challenging version, you can extend that bottom leg. Or we can lift the fingertips up away from the mat on the supporting arm. And then we'll add our twist. Rotate, reach underneath the armpit, look behind your body, and inhale to open. Exhale, rotate, scoop. Feel the core working here. And 2 more repetitions. One more. Then hold that side plank. Use the strength of the side waist to pull yourself up through gate pose and to side stretch the opposing direction. And then moving back and forth, stretching through the side waist and breathing. Take your time to go at your own pace. And one more of each movement. Then reaching back down to the mat, back to all fours, hands and knees. One more cat stretch, curve the spine up to the sky, tuck the tailbone under, and you're using your abdominals to do this. I'm really lifting up and hollowing out the belly. Then drop your forearms down to the mat, about shoulders distance apart. We can interlace the hands together. We'll tuck the toes and lift the knees up off the mat into Dolphin Pose. So our goal is to try to extend the legs as straight as possible, but you can have them bent any amount to allow for tight hamstrings. And if possible, the head is not touching the floor, so we're pressing up by contracting the muscles of the shoulders and upper traps so that we're not shrugging down to allow our head to touch the mat. We can walk those feet in a little closer, tiptoe them in, and either staying as you are or try lifting one foot any amount up off the floor. And then we'll lower that one down and lift the other foot any amount. And lower that one down. And either staying in dolphin for 3 more breaths or allowing your knees to come down to the floor for child's pose 3 breaths. And then if you're still in your dolphin, drop your knees down. We still have our hands interlaced and our elbows on the mat. We'll walk our feet or knees back behind us to come into our forearm plank or dolphin plank. So if knees are down, that's absolutely fine. Just pull the abs in and up. Or really straighten those legs, fire through your quads. And make sure your hips are level as possible with your shoulders. And then if you're on your toes, we'll glide this plank forward by pushing off the toes and then glide it back. If you're on your knees, you're just holding. 2 more. And 1 more. And the knees find the mat. Separating the hands, press yourself back into child's pose. Excellent core set, everyone. Take your time to make your way onto your back. We'll be there for the duration of the class, so if you need a little pillow behind your head, make yourself comfortable. And we'll just bend the knees and set the feet flat onto the floor. And try to make sure that your head is neutral. So if you lay on your back and your head is really tipping back, just place a little something behind the head so you feel nice and relaxed through the cervical spine. And we're prepared to come into bridge. So we'll walk the feet in any amount towards the hips. Allow your feet to be hips distance apart. And then we'll tuck the tailbone under and roll up into bridge. Coming up a comfortable amount. And then starting from the upper portion of your spine, set one bone down at a time as you roll yourself back down. And we'll take our inhale as we roll up. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. And then breathe out slowly to roll down. 2 more, rolling bridge. And 1 more, rolling up. Holding at the top this time, exhale. If you'd like, you can interlace your hands behind your back. You can rock a little bit from side to side to pull those arms underneath your back body to open up the heart center a little more. And then try to lift your heels up off the floor, coming onto the balls of the feet. And then set your heels back down. Lift up and lower. Lift up and hold, and then walk your feet in a little closer to your hips, and you're still on the balls of the feet, and really lift the hips high. Hold here, 3 breaths. On that 3rd exhalation, you'll stay on your tiptoes, but separate your hands, separate your shoulders, and then 1 bone at a time, roll yourself down, still up on the balls of the feet, until that lower back connects with the mat. Then hug both knees right up into your chest. So we will come into a half happy baby. So taking your left foot, set it down onto the floor. With your right knee, we're going to hug it into the chest and move it toward the outside of the chest area, right toward your armpit. And then bring your right hand inside of your leg, but take your hand itself outside of the foot. So I have my arm to the inside of my leg, but my hand is wrapping around the outside edge of the foot. Now, sometimes I see this pose done down here where the knee is deeply bent. What I'd like you to do is straighten it a little so it's about at a 90 degree. So it's like you're stepping your footprint right on the ceiling, and pull this knee down into your armpit. Then we can extend that bottom leg out to straight any amount if that feels comfortable. If it's difficult for you to reach this foot, get it into the position you need, you can use that yoga strap to wrap it under the bottom of your foot and to pull the strap down toward you. And we'll hold here 2 breaths. This pose is actually like dragon, which we sometimes do in yin, but we're in dragon where our foot is actually on the floor and we're reaching down with the hands toward the mat. So very similar to the stretch we get in dragon. All right, let's release that side. So you'll put that foot down to the floor with a bent knee to start. Bring the left knee up into your chest. And it's okay just to stay here too if you'd rather do this with the stretch. Otherwise, we're moving this knee to the outside, the armpit. The left arm comes inside of the knee, but outside of the foot. And then we straighten that leg enough so we're at about a 90-degree bend and the foot is facing right up to the ceiling. Or we're using our strap to achieve that position. And then this bottom leg can slide out to straight, which increases the stretch, both in this hip flexor as well as in the hamstring glute area. And there's a little bit of work here in your arm as you're pulling down, but otherwise try to really relax everything else and breathe. Two more breaths. And then we'll release that foot, bring it back down to the mat. And then we'll hug both knees up into the chest or do a full happy baby pose. So your choice is just to stay here, or we can separate those knees to pull them both out to the armpits. Reach both arms to the inside of your knees, but both hands to the outside of your ankles. And again, you don't want your heels down to your glute. If at all possible, you're going to bring those knees to you're in a 90-degree position, your feet are flat. And we're using both hands to pull those knees down toward the armpits. And then we can rock a little bit side to side with happy baby, as a happy baby might do when they find their toes for the first time. As flexible as they are, so amazing. And we'll just take two more breaths here in our full happy baby pose. It's a great release for the lower back. And then as you exhale and lower the legs down, allow the soles of your feet to come together and find the floor with your feet. Let your knees open out into Supta Baddha Konasana. Hands can come to the belly. And just relax your hips and allow them to open naturally using gravity as a force. And then holding this position, take your fingertips and gently support the back of your head. Allow your elbows to be open. We'll do a small abdominal crunch, coming up with the shoulder blades and lowering back down. And crunching up and lowering down. Allow those hip flexors to relax, the inner thighs. Now, next time you come up to the top, hold, and with your right hand, reach across toward the left knee so you're slightly twisting. Then bring that hand back and lower back down. Crunch up, the left hand reaches across, and then to the head, and we release. Crunch up and twist and release. We have 3 more repetitions. And 2 more, 1 each direction. Then relax those shoulders down. Arms come by your side, palms facing up. And then we'll close the knees back in toward each other. Separate your feet as wide as your mat is. And your knees are also as wide as your mat. And then do a little windshield wiper from side to side. So both knees go to the right. And then both knees move to the left. And as you're doing this, the opposite hip does come up off the floor. So you are twisting and rotating. You should feel a little gentle stretch across the top of the hip flexor, maybe into the quadricep. And then the next time we come over to the right side, hold it here. Now you can just allow your legs to relax. If you'd like to deepen this stretch, your right foot gently comes up to lay across the left thigh. And this gives yourself a little bit of weight to press this down a bit. Now just making sure that there's no pain in your knee or your hip as you're doing this. And we'll take 2 more breaths here. And if you have the ankle on top, we'll set it back down to the floor. Windshield wiper the knees to the other side. So your feet are still as wide as your mat. And this staggers the knees to drop. The left ankle can come up toward the right thigh to give yourself a little weight to press that right knee down a little bit closer to the mat. 2 breaths. Then uncross the ankle. Bring both knees back to the center line. And extend your legs out nice and long for Shavasana. Allow your feet to be about hips distance or slightly wider apart. Turn your toes out to relax through your inner thighs and your hips. Arms can be next to the side of your body with palms up, or find another comfortable place for your arms, maybe in goalpost arms, or arms can just float right across the abdomen. And we'll breathe in and out through the nose, allowing the belly to rise with each breath. Allow your body to feel as if it's sinking heavier into the floor. Allow your mind to clear. Any external thoughts or worries to dissipate. And just scan your body from head to toe, looking for any areas where you might be tensing up your muscles unaware. Your jaw is relaxed, your forehead, your shoulders, your hips and glutes. Even relaxing the pelvic floor and softening the belly. If you need a little extra time here in meditation today, please feel free to remain as you are. There's no rush to come up from your Shavasana. Otherwise, we'll prepare for movement by wiggling the toes a little bit. You can flutter the fingers, maybe roll the wrists and ankles. And then in your time, in your own way, make yourself back to a comfortable seat, simple cross-leg pose. And we'll remain with our eyes closed for just a few more breaths. And just being full aware of our bodies, noticing the benefits of our yoga practice today. And as you hold here and breathe, simply allow your right ear to drop toward your right shoulder and lengthen the side of your neck. And left ear to left shoulder. Bring that head back up to neutral. Connect the palms of your hands at heart center in an Anjali Mudra as we take a moment to express our gratitude for this opportunity to practice together. And the light, love, and joy that resides within me honors the light, love, and joy in each of you. Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope that felt fantastic. If you can stay on with me for a minute, I'd love to say hello. Otherwise, I see you next class, which will be Friday. All right. Thanks, everyone. Recording is shutting down.